Hi guys, and welcome back to our next English class. Today we are on Unit 5, Week 4, and today we're going to be talking about good citizens and what do good citizens do? What does that actually mean? We're going to be talking about citizenship. Now, Lou is helping his town get ready to honor its heroes. He is being a good citizen by participating in something that is important to his community. Now, being a good citizen means helping other people. It means following the rules and being respectful of others. Good citizenship helps make a community safe. Now, if you're a citizen, it means that you are a member of a community. Maybe it also means that I am a member of a country. It is the place where I live. Now, I can either be a very good citizen and help the people where I live, or I could be a bad citizen and not help the people where I live. Now let's take a look at our vocabulary words for today. Now our first word that we have is citizenship, okay? So citizenship is the position or status of being a citizen of a particular country. Like I just said, it means that you are a member of a country or a member of a community. Planting a tree in your community is an example of good citizenship. Next, we have continued. Now, if you continue something, it means that you persist in an activity or process. You don't give up. You keep going. Justin continued to read his book all afternoon. Next, we have daring. If someone is daring, it means that they are adventurous or audaciously bold. I'm not afraid to do something. One brave penguin made a daring dive into the cold sea. Next, we have horrified. Now, if you're horrified, it means that you're filled with horror or you have a big shock. All right, to shock greatly, like, ah! Paul and his mother were horrified by the scary movie. Next, we have participate. If you participate, it means that you're taking part in something. Barb and her friends like to participate in sack races at the picnic. Proposed. So if you propose something, it means that you are putting forward an idea or a plan for consideration or discussion by others. Mom proposed that they look online to find the answer to Tina's question. Next page, we have unfairness. So if something's unfair, it means that there is a lack of equality or justice, right? That's so unfair. The baseball player discussed the unfairness of the referee's call. Waver. If something wavers, it means that it becomes unsteady or it is not reliable. Ted's confidence started to waver when he forgot the answer. All right, now that brings us to our story for today. And today we're going to be reading a biography about a woman called Dolores Herrera. Now, a biography is a story that is telling a true story of a real person's life, okay? It's all about the life of a person, but it's written by somebody else. Now, biographies can include pictures, captions, even a timeline of events in a person's life. Okay, so let's keep a look for those as we read this biography. Now, what we're going to be learning and reading about in this biography today is, what do good citizens do? We're going to read how Dolores Huerta's actions helped many people. All right, let's go ahead and let's start reading. Dolores Huerta learned to help people by watching her mother. Good citizenship was important to her, and she taught Dolores that women can be strong leaders. When Dolores grew up, she had the same beliefs. Good citizens. Dolores was born on April 10, 1930. She lived in a small town in New Mexico until she was 3 years old. Then she moved to California with her mother and 2 brothers. Dolores grew up watching her mother participate in community organizations. Her mother believed that all people deserved to be treated fairly. When Dolores was a young girl, her mother owned a hotel and a restaurant. Many farm workers who lived in their town were poor and hungry. They were paid very little for their hard work. Dolores' mother let them stay at her hotel and eat at her restaurant for free. This taught Dolores and her brothers that good citizens get involved in the community by helping their neighbors. Now we have a caption at the bottom of this page. And the caption says that Dolores Huerta helped farm workers who spent many hours working in fields. So my question for you is, how did Dolores learn to help people? Very good. So she learned to help people by watching her mother, who also helped people. And how did her mother help people? Very good. So she let them stay at her hotel for free and even gave them free food from her restaurant. Now, where is Dolores from? Okay, so she's from New Mexico, and then she moved to California. And what year was she born? 1930. Yes, a very long time ago. Dolores goes to school. Dolores saw how hard life was for farm workers in California. She wanted everyone to be treated fairly. This attitude continued as she attended college and studied to become a teacher. Many of the students that Dolores taught were the children of farm workers. These students were often tired and hungry. They came to school barefoot because they had no shoes. Dolores knew she needed to help them. As a result, she went to her school's principal and proposed some good ideas. She tried to get free lunches and milk for the children. She tried to get them new clothes and shoes. Trying to help the children was a daring thing for Dolores to do. The other teachers did not agree with her ideas. Dolores risked a lot, but her beliefs did not waver. She decided to do something about the unfairness she saw. She wanted to find a better way to help farm workers and their families. All right, so Dolores went to college. Now, what did she study when she was in college? Yes, she was studying to become a teacher, just like me. Now, after she became a teacher, what is it that she decided that she wanted to do? She wanted to help children, especially the students who were very poor, or the children who had parents who were farm workers. And what did she want to do for these children? So she wanted to get these children free lunch. She wanted to get them some milk. She also wanted to get them some shoes and some new clothing. Did everybody agree with Dolores? No. Some people did not agree with this. Now we're going to take a look. Now this is a timeline of Dolores's life, all right? And a timeline is a great way to see all of the events in a person's life. So we see that in 1930, Dolores is born. And we see when she moved to California, when she started working as a teacher. So right now, that is all that we know about Dolores' life. So let's read about the other events that happened in the next pages. Dolores stands strong. Every day, Dolores saw people working in unusually unsafe and disagreeable conditions. She was horrified. Many farm workers had little money to feed their families. Dolores decided to do something. In 1955, Dolores met Cesar Chavez. He wanted to make life better for farm workers too. Dolores and Cesar organized the workers into a group called the National Farm Workers Association. This group protected the rights of the farm workers. It helped make big farms treat them better. As a result, working conditions on the farms improved. Growing up with a mother who cared about other people taught Dolores to be a good citizen. Her kind and brave acts helped farm workers and their families. Who is a good citizen? Dolores Huerta is. All right, so what happened in 1955? Very good. It says that in 1955 she met Cesar Chavez. Now, what did Cesar want to do? Yes, he wanted to help people on the farms too. So what did Dolores and Cesar do together? They created the group called the National Farm Workers Association. Very good. And how did she help others? What did this organization do? Yes, it made sure that people that were working on farms had more freedom, had more rights, and were treated better. All right, very good. Now what we're going to do again today is we're going to look at the author's point of view. Okay, so now remember last week, we want to look at details from the story that show us how the author feels or thinks about the topic that they are writing about. So let's think about the author's point of view in this story. So the idea or the author's point of view is that Dolores is a good citizen. Now let's think of some details in our story today that shows us how Dolores is a good citizen. Well, perhaps one idea we could think of is that Dolores learned from her mother how to help people, right? We remember that her mom would let the people live for free and would give them free food. So she learned how to help people. Another idea that we could say from the story is that she became a teacher and wanted to help the students who had little money. She wanted to give them milk. She wanted to give them some new clothing, help them. Now, another idea that we learned from our story today is that she created an organization that helped farmers be treated better at the job. So they had more rights, they got paid more money, and this helped the farmers to have a better life. Now, all of these things show us that Dolores is a good citizen, and that is what the author is trying to tell us in our story today. Now, let's go ahead and let's look at our vocabulary words. Now, I am going to read you a story, and you need to put the correct answers in the line. Now, after I finish reading, I'm going to go back and I'm going to give you all of the answers. So make sure you write down your answer, and if you need more time, just stop the video until you're finished filling out your answers, and then hit play, and I will give you all of the correct answers. All right, here we go. Now let's just review our words. We have citizenship, continued, daring, horrified, participate, proposed, unfairness, and waiver. All right, are you ready? Here we go. Jeremy was in Mr. Hale's third grade class. This week, they were learning about the rights of citizens. Mr. Hale told the class that voting was a big part of. In the past, there were unjust rules that stopped some people from voting, said Mr. Hale. Jeremy was shocked. He was by the of these rules. How did they get the right to vote? Asked Jeremy. It was difficult, said Mr. Hale. They had to be brave, and sometimes, when others tried to stop them, they did not pause or to fight for their rights. They wanted to in the voting process. Mr. Hale's words got Jeremy thinking. Later in the day, that the class write a play about people fighting for their right to vote. That's a great suggestion, Jeremy, said Mr. Hale. All right, are you guys ready for the answers? All right, here we go. So the first answer is citizenship. Next, we have horrified. After that, unfairness. Then we have daring, waiver, continued, participate, and last we have proposed. Hopefully you got half of those right, or maybe you got all of those right. In that case, that is an amazing job with the vocabulary words. Now let's move on to some grammar for this week. This week we're looking at something called a possessive pronoun. Now a possessive pronoun takes the place of a possessive noun. Let's look for example. That is Jane's backpack. That is her backpack. Her takes the place of Jane's. Now, if I say something is possessive, it means that I own something. Someone owns something. It is her book, my book, his book, your book, Angel's book. All right? Now, a possessive pronoun shows who or what owns something, right? That is his notebook. Now, we want to use these possessive pronouns before nouns. So we're going to say my, his, her, its, your, their. All of these can be used as a possessive pronoun. Now we're going to make sure that nouns and pronouns agree in both simple and compound sentences. Okay? Now, if you're a little confused, that's okay. We're going to practice, and so it's going to become a lot easier in just a few minutes. Now, we want to write the possessive pronoun on the line. So remember, we're going to take the place of a possessive noun, possessive pronoun. Let's look at number 1. My family won a trip to Chicago. Now, we're going to say my family, and we're going to replace it with a possessive pronoun. So we would use the word our. Very good. So we would say our family won a trip to Chicago. Number 2. We wrote an essay telling our reasons for wanting to go. Sorry guys, let's take a look at number 1 again because I wrote the wrong answer, okay? It should be my family. All right, here we go. My family won a trip to Chicago. So we want to underline my, okay? So it's my family. Okay, so now let's look at number 2. It says we wrote an essay telling our reasons for wanting to go. Now number 2 is our reasons for wanting to go. There we go. Next, Dad spent most of his childhood there. Now, can you find the possessive pronoun in this sentence? All right, very good. So the possessive pronoun is his, right? His childhood. So we're going to write that on the line, his. Number 4, Mom used to visit her grandmother in Chicago. What is the possessive pronoun in this sentence? Very good. So she's going to visit her grandmother. So we're going to write her on the line. All right. Now, some possessive pronouns can stand alone. Possessive pronouns that can stand alone include mine, your, his, hers, its, ours, and theirs. Now, a reflexive pronoun is used when the subject and the object of a sentence are the same. Now, let's take a look at this in a sentence so we can understand a little better. Okay, so we're going to read the sentence and the possessive pronouns in parentheses, and we're going to choose the correct possessive pronoun. Let's look at number 1. The students in ours class are painting pictures of sea life. Which word do you think is correct, our or ours? Very good. Okay, now this is our because it's not standing alone. The students in our class. So that has a partner. It has a noun. Number 2. I am almost finished with my or mine. Any idea which one is correct? Very good. It is mine because it is standing alone. I am almost finished with mine. There is no noun after mine. Number 3. Have you finished your or yours? Which one? Very good. So this is going to be yours. Very good. Have you finished yours? Number 4. Stacy showed me her or hers painting. Which one do you think is correct? Very good. So Stacy showed me her painting. Very good. It has a noun, so it is not standing alone. Very good job. All right, now that takes us to our draft model for today. Now, our draft model, we're going to be working on adding a strong opening so the reader wants to read more of what we have written. So let's take a look. It says, my grandmother is a good citizen because it improves our community. She volunteers at the park so kids have a safe place to play. My uncle is a good citizen because it keeps us safe. He volunteers as a firefighter to protect people and property. Now, what is the purpose of this text? What is the purpose of this paragraph? Very good. So it's talking about our lesson today, which is good citizenship. It's telling us what is a good citizen and how are people helping one another. Number 2, what opening sentence would clearly state the topic and grab the reader's attention? Well, we definitely want to include in our topic sentence good citizenship, right? Because that is what the topic is all about. Now, one way to really get a reader's attention is to start off asking a question. We could say something like, what is a good citizen? We could ask that at the very beginning, and then the reader thinks, what is a good citizen? And it makes the reader want to continue reading your writing. What opening would make readers want to read more? Well, like I just said, asking a question. That is one way to open a paragraph that captivates the reader's attention. All right, so let's give this a try by making our beginning a lot stronger. Starting off, what is a good citizen? Well, we could say, my grandmother is a good citizen because she volunteers at the park so kids have a safe place to play. It improves our community. My uncle is a good citizen because he volunteers as a firefighter to protect people and property. It keeps us safe. All right? So we see how we introduce the topic at the beginning of the paragraph. What is a good citizen? And then we answer what a good citizen is by showing examples of the grandmother and the uncle. What is a good citizen? My grandmother is a good citizen because she volunteers at the park so kids have a safe place to play. It improves our community. My uncle is a good citizen because he volunteers as a firefighter to protect people and property. It keeps us safe. All right, guys, good job. Good practice with our lesson today. Have some fun with those vocabulary words. Practice your English, and I will see you next time. Bye.